Here, over there you'll see we've got the pink-foot geese. Now they come from Iceland and Greenland and weird places called Spitsbergen. They migrate thousands of miles due south to arrive in Scotland, and they'll work their way down the east coast. And if you go to Norfolk on the east coast, you will find thousands of pink-foot geese in the month of November. And I've seen it once, the big migration as they come right the way out of the clouds, spiral down. It is an amazing, amazing sight. Last winter we had 15,000 pink-foot geese on the Wash. You have to see this once in your lifetime before you die. It is the most memorable thing you will ever have. So this is true wild stuff. Remember, they have eyesight miles better than yours or mine. So we've got to be camouflaged, we've got to be invisible. We're going to be trying to hunt them with a time-honoured shotgun. In the early days they would have had the flintlock, and that was superseded by the percussion gun. They were all muzzle loaders. Today we use something different. This is the semi-automatic, fresh out of the United States of America. And as you'll notice, it's got a single barrel. It has a stock, not made of walnuts like our English guns. This is actually made of plastic. This is a semi-automatic, it's gas operated. Underneath the barrel has a very small hole, just there where my finger is. And when you fire the first shot, some of those high pressure gases come out of that hole. They drive back a piston, throws out the empty cartridge that you've just fired, and reloads straight away with the magazine underneath. We'll show you how that goes. Now, as you'll notice, any of you Gundog people, you'll know that a little dog like Jake here, he's far too young to stand gunfire. Gundog training, you're going to see a brilliant display later on today, and you've got all the experts here at the show if you want to ask questions. I'm not a Gundog exhibitor trainer, but I certainly know how to train dogs, and I do know that you do not do this. There's a farmer down my part of the world whose idea of testing to see if a puppy is gun shy, he'd get a dog exactly the same age as this, and I've watched this myself. Stand there with a 12-bore shotgun with a live cartridge, and bang! Probably not 99 dogs in 100 would ever stay where it was put, because it's just like hitting that dog around the head with a cricket bat. They have an amazing sense of hearing, so we start our training with very slight bangs and work our way gradually up. Now little Jake here, I'll take him off the lead so you can all see. Come on Jake, that's a good lad. There you go. Little pups are great fun. I say he's doubled in size since no, leave Tom alone, leave him alone. What you're seeing here is typical stuff with puppies. We don't want to do that. Jake, come on. Good boy, good boy. You'll notice his jacket that he's wearing is far too big for him. I could lift him 3 foot off the ground and his legs would still be on the floor. But he's a great little chap. Already he's starting to learn the whistle. And it's at certainly a young age of 14 and a half weeks. That is quite unusual. Now, as you'll notice, Tom, you'll see he's top dog. And I don't want this, so I'm going to have to show him that I'm the master, not Tom. This is all good, typical Gundog stuff, or any kind of dog stuff for that matter. What I'll do is I'll try and call him away a little bit further. Come on, Jake. Come on. Good boy, Jake. Now, I'm using the whistle here, and I've just started a process, and when I take him out on my own, he's absolutely amazing. He'll swim like a fish. He'll, Jake, come on, buddy. There you go. Good lad. This is all basic, brilliant stuff for Gundog training, because I'm actually training him without him realising it. And this is very easy to do. When I feed him, good boy, when I feed him, I bang his metal dog bowl, his food bowl, against the side of the kennel. And every time he hears that loud bang, he knows there's something enjoyable, something food. So this is how we associate them with the loud bangs that they're going to have to learn how to withstand in the hide, which we'll set up in just a minute. So then, leave Tom alone. As I say, Tom's 13 years old, he's blind as a bat, deaf as a post. But he's brought back thousands of ducks, geese by the score. We're going to show you how it works in just a minute. There's a good boy, Jake. Where's your lead to? What I'll do is I'll fire off the gun, and I'm going to take the dog away first. Good boy, Jake, there's a good lad. Good boy, come here. Good boy. There's a good boy. We haven't got all day, son, have we? Right, so we'll get Jake a little bit further out of the way, because the gun is pretty noisy, and it would be ridiculous for anyone to fire a gun that close to a young pup, so we'll take him over here. If you do decide to go shooting, you've got to have with you the services of a well-trained gun dog, and I'd love to show you Tom, because he is the expert. He is amazing. Good boy, Jake. Next time when you come here, to this show next year, you'll see the progression that we've had with training The yellow Labrador there. Right, it's starting to get a bit warm with these waders. I tell you, you don't get temperatures like this on the marsh in winter. We're going to see if we can bag a duck or a goose. We've got a lot of work to do. I haven't got the time to do everything I want to do here because when I set the duck decoys up, that takes half an hour, and we've only got half an hour to do the entire display today. If you do go shooting, as I said, you've got to understand guns and gun safety. We'll be talking about that in just a moment, but just for your delectation, we're going to fire off some rather lively blank cartridges. Now these are loaded up just before I came to the show. These are blanks. We're firing, not live cartridges. It'll give me an opportunity to show you how the gun actually works. So I load one into the chamber, has one in the barrel, and it has a magazine where I'm putting 2 more. Now I do know that Tom is well steady to the gun, but we'll tell him to stay there. He's looking at me like he's lost the will to live, actually, but you keep going for a minute, son, you can't die yet. Okay, he's looking at me saying, I'll have to stay there because you tied me to the ground with a bit of string, but there you go. Right, what's important to remember about guns, if you watch me in the next 20 minutes, you'll never ever see me point a gun towards any of you. I learned that when I was a very small boy of 11 years old. Father took me out with a big old duck gun, had a big hammer at the back, and for 12 months he made me carry this flipping gun around every time he went out after pheasants, pigeons, rabbits, or in the winter time after the ducks. What he was doing is showing me how to make sure I could handle a gun safely. The secret is to always keep your barrel pointed safely up in the air at all times. You never ever point your gun towards anyone else. And since there's lots of youngsters here, you take that home with you. And if you remember that safety rule, you'll have the same pleasure that I had growing up with shooting. At 12 years old, I shot my first pigeon, and that was a treasure beyond measure. Okay then, Tom, stay there. Jake, he's just in the world of his own over there, so we'll fire the whole thing off. There you go. Now, not very spectacular, but for those of you with really good eyesight, you'll notice the empty cartridge get instantly ejected, and it should have, yes it has, loaded up with a fresh one from the magazine. So we'll fire off one more, but remember these modern guns have 3 shots. Unlike your 2-barrel guns, your over and under or your side by side, there's still one left in the chamber after you've fired 2 shots, so always be careful with these semi-automatics. The only reason I got this, incidentally, is because you're not allowed to shoot with lead shot after ducks and geese anymore. Those days are gone. You have to use non-toxic shot. So non-toxic shot comprises of other metals than lead. The cheapest alternative to lead shot is steel. And if you fire a steel shot through your grandpappy's old gun, you will almost certainly blow it up. It's not designed for such high pressure loads. This thing is. So we'll fire one more. Are you ready? Bugger. Sorry about that, did I say that out loud? Right, what we've just experienced there is a misfire. These guns are so temperamental, if anyone's thinking of getting one of these, think again. Because this gun, I've had it, it cost me £900. It's a Beretta Eureka 3-inch Magnum. It cost me £900. In 4.5 years it did me good, but now it's letting me down so regularly, I don't think that's very good value for that much money. The reason I'm holding it up like this, if it was a hang fire, you do not want the cartridge exploding when it's in fresh air. So you must always give it at least a minute. I don't know why that didn't work, but we'll try it again. Ah, there we go. That's a bit more like it. Right, so what we'll do is we'll empty the gun. We'll be coming back to this in just a minute, but there's still a lot more to learn.